On the bench today, we have a Washburn Sonamaster guitar. This is a Stratocaster style guitar. We've got the reversed headstock here, as you can see. Got a very nice finish on it. Got the 3 single coil pickups, 1 master volume, master tone control for everything, and a 5-way blade switch. This is a friend of mine's guitar. He purchased this a couple of years ago, but has not had a lot of time to play it, so unfortunately it's been sitting for a while and needs a little bit of attention. Quick inspection I did on the guitar reveals one of the strap buttons is very loose back here. We'll address that. And the fret ends are very, very sharp. When he purchased this guitar, initially I set it up for him and did some fret leveling and some fret work on it for him. But that, like I say, was a couple years ago, so it needs to be addressed again. I don't think we'll have to level the frets again. They should be fine because he's hardly played it. But I'll check them anyway while we got the strings off. And we'll replace the strings. We'll give it a full setup and clean it up a little bit. It's just got some dust on it, but otherwise it's in really nice shape. Okay, I'm just going to start off with doing a quick check on the electronics. Everything seems to be working. The pots are nice and clean. There's no scratchiness to them. The blade switch works. The pickups are all working. Okay, yeah, so we're good to go there. The output jack is fine. There's no crackling or anything happening there. Okay, let's get the strings off and we'll get started here. Okay, yeah, these fret ends they're really bad. What's happened is that the thing has been sitting out and it's just dried up. The wood's dried a little bit and it's shrunk, and the metal is just sticking out on both sides, and it's hard to, you have to feel it with your fingers to know what I'm talking about. But if you take like a piece of wood or something and just roll it, I'm not sure if you can see that there. Yeah, so that was just rolling over, I don't know, I did about 4 or 5 frets there, just rolling it like this on the sides of the frets. So it gives you an idea of how sharp they are. I mean, that's definitely gonna chew your finger up. I was playing this the other day at his place, and that's why I asked him if I could bring it home and do this video to show everyone my way of doing frets. Okay, but we'll deal with that in a minute. Like I said earlier, everything else seems good. When I first set this up for him, I set this bridge to a hardtail position. So if he had the lamb bar in there, he could push it forward and it would lift this way. I find that's good if you're just starting out to learn how to play, which he is. It gives a little more stability down here because you can float this style of bridge, and if it's done properly, it does work pretty well. Personally, I don't do that myself, but I would recommend it if you're a beginner. I'll take a closer look at this in a minute. Like I said, it should be fine. I'll have to check the bag. I don't know if he gave me the bar, but I'm pretty sure I have one I can put in there just to try. And okay, so what's next here? Okay, so here we got the side view. As I mentioned before, you push down on the bar and it'll tilt the bridge this way. So you can see it's just resting on the body there. It's not too hard or anything. And you still have a little wiggle room if you want to play with it. Just a little easier to see from this angle. Once I had these strings off, I noticed a couple of the tuners were a little bit loose. You can see here a little bit of wiggling. These ones are okay, but easy enough to correct that. For this guitar, we're using a 10 mil deep socket, preferably if you got one. And you can just do this by hand. Just tighten the nut on there, just by finger tight, like so. And then I usually just put the, in this case, it's screwdriver attachment, a ratcheting screwdriver. But you just need to give it just a tiny little turn, just to snug everything up. And don't over tighten these, you don't got to go crazy. So that's good. Then I would flip the guitar over just to make sure that these set screws here, just make sure they're tight. Just get your screwdriver and just make sure they're snug. There might be a little wiggle room or some play there, but these ones are good. Yeah, they're good. One thing I thought I'd show you while we're talking tuners is on the top of the tuning key, you can see there's these little Phillips screws. That's to tighten the key onto the tuner shaft. What'll happen sometimes is people will mistakenly tighten these screws thinking they're adding some stability to the tuner. If you make it really tight, it's not going to go out of tune as much. That's not really the case. All that is, let me show you. I have one here. All that is holding this piece to the shaft. I'll take it off and show you. Okay. So as you can see, there's a shaft there. This just slides on, and that screw on the top just goes into the threaded area there and just holds it in place. Over tightening that screw will sometimes, if you go too much, you'll split this nylon washer, this white washer here. Take these off and show you. This isn't the proper one for a guitar tuner. It's a little bigger than normal, but it's the same idea. So you squeeze that too much, you're just going to squish it and it'll split and crack and fall off. And then this piece here is metal, and you can see there's a little cut in, like a little washer. What you'll end up doing is you'll keep doing that tightening and twisting, and every time you go to tune, you're going to start grinding stuff here, metal on metal. Not necessary. So just tighten these up just enough to hold everything in place. And again, this white one is not the proper one, but I'm just going to use it as an example here. Like so. Slide that over top. There we go. So as you can see, I can tighten this, and once the tuner starts to, the key starts to turn like that. There we go. Okay. Hold it with your fingers and just give it a few more turns, and you'll feel it snug up. That's plenty right there. Good movement. It's not too stiff. It's not flopping around loose. And that should be all you really need to do for that. There's no reason to squish that. All you're going to do is wreck that. I was checking out the the strap button here. It was loose. I tightened it up, and it seems to be nice and tight. I was thinking I might have to drill that out and dowel, glue in a dowel and re-drill it, but I think we're good. It just must have just loosened up with use, and that does happen. It's one of those little maintenance things you should just check every once in a while when you pick your guitar up. Just make sure these straps are loose and wiggling around, because eventually it'll pull right out, and your guitar will hit the ground or get damaged or whatever. Another thing I noticed when I was looking back here, I'm not sure if this will show up on the camera too well. It was a small little blemish. Where is it? There it is. Nothing serious. I tried wiping it off. It didn't come off. It looks like it's just a scuff mark. I didn't notice that before, but this should be no problem to buff that out. When I'm finished, I'm going to give the guitar a pretty good once over. I did give it a pretty solid cleaning the last time it was here, and it has not really been used all that much. It's just got some dust and some finger marks on it. So we'll address that once we clean it all up and be closer to the end of the project. Um, so yeah, I just thought I'd show you that. That's a pretty easy repair. And you've also got the other strap button on the horn of the guitar right there. This one's nice and tight. Nothing to do there. So again, just one of those things you want to check every once in a while. Well, that'll do it for part one of this video. Just a quick assessment of the guitar, quick look at what we're dealing with and what we're going to be working on. This project will be broken up into probably 4 different parts. For the next part, we're going to be looking at the sharp fret ends, and we'll be doing a little fret polishing and looking at the fretboard, and then we'll move on from there. So hope to see you in part 2. Thanks for watching.